God damn it. Look who's coming. Up the trail. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Where's my stuff? I don't even know what stuff I need, but here he comes. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. I can't believe it. I gotta call my mom, but she won't understand.
Oh, Steric.
God damn it. Look who...
Hello, I'm host Eric. You like my intro music? That's what people say when they see me coming. They're like, God damn it. Oh my god. Not really. Today I'd like to talk about techniques and methodologies of condescension and dismissal. I don't recommend you use these unless you have very good cause, alright? Don't do anything unethical with these techniques. And I don't really know coming in what I'm going to demonstrate here, but I will be demonstrating a couple of them. I've got a couple in mind that I'm going to start with. The first one is called Pause, Do You Know Why? Alright? So as soon as somebody starts coming at you with something, let's say you're at, I don't know, alright, let's say you're dealing with like a secretary type person, or maybe higher than that, like an administrator of some kind, and you are faced with somebody who's trying to give you a bureaucratic pushback. You know, like, well, I'm sorry, that's just not our policy, and I'm sorry, I can't help you with that, so you're going to have to talk to Judy and blah, 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 all that shit, you know? So, listen to him. So let's say I'm saying, I need to talk to somebody who has the power to make this following decision. Because ultimately, that's what you have to do. See, whenever I'm thwarted, it's because I can't get the person who's making a decision to talk to me. If I can get the person who's making a decision to talk to me, I've got a good shot. Depending on the personality type and a lot of other factors of the person I'm dealing with, but I got a really good shot. But you got to get past that gatekeeper first. And the key technique is the condescending, do you know why? So, do you know why it is that this particular clause here on this issue that I'm having is in place? Do you know why? No. Me neither. Do you think maybe Judy knows? No? Does anybody know? Is there anybody here in this building who can answer that question? Or not? Oh, I can go talk to Judy? Okay, good. Thank you so much for your help. Okay. Remember, when dealing with pushback, you don't want to make statements. You want to ask a lot of questions. Alright? So, let's say I'm faced with somebody who tells me, no, you can't come to the tournament because you're not a regular school, you're an academy or something like that, you know? With those ones, this technique is going to be a little bit different, right? First of all, when you're dealing with somebody who does have decision-making power, or you're dealing with somebody who is not going to be so easily pushed around with beginning-level Jedi mind tricks, you've got to present with dichotomies. The key thing is, don't allow them to squirrel out without committing to something. Same thing with the debate round, right? You have to make them fucking pin down to something. Once you got them pinned to anything, you can work around it. Alright? And you can work off that. You pivot off that, and then you just meow, 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 and then fuck you, and then the thank you. Exactly. Like I said it was going to go down. Boom. And then you walk out, you know? So, how do you set up the dichotomies? Well, it's very simple. You go in there and say, like, the thing is I'm talking about right now is actually an instance when I was thwarted successfully by the gatekeepers, but it was also by circumstance. I was getting divorced, and I didn't go back that third day to fuck with them like I should have. I should have showed up that third day in a row and been like, I'm back again, and you fuckers better give me what I want. But I was busy getting divorced. I wanted her to get an inter-district transfer to the good debate school so she didn't have to go to the shitty high school. The shitty debate program. My alma mater. I had to coach myself when I went to high school. They didn't even have a debate coach for me. Fuckers. I had a speech coach. I liked him. I like Mr. Paratori. If you're still alive, I like you, man. You're great. Mr. Paratori. Big Mets fan. Fred Paratori. I'm going to Google his ass. What if he's still around? He was about 50 when I was in high school, it seems like. How old am I now? It's like 30 years ago. I just see him jogging around Arcadia. All of a sudden my mood went down. Aging, old age, death, existential terror. Do you feel it, or is it just me, man? I don't know. I feel it every day. At some point during the day, I feel existential terror. I'm gonna die. Hopefully, you got a while. Anyway, set up those dichotomies. So this is, if I had gotten in to see that woman, I would have said, what's your official appeal policy? Do you have one? And they would have given it to me, right? If they had it. If they had a document on it. See, this is the thing. I couldn't get the secretary to even give me a document on it. And I was ready to fucking slam the trap closed on the third day, and I didn't make it back there. I was gonna fucking... gonna fuck those people up. They got away with it. They got away with it. You don't know how lucky you are. Lucky I was getting divorced. That day, I had to go finish my divorce. Go to the therapist and have Candace formally and I formally agree in the divorce, in the therapy session that, yep, we're done, we're divorced. Until that, and so I had a busy day. It was like a emotionally charged day, you know. I had to feel things about emotions with my woman, ex-woman, and it was hard, you know. I mean, it was not an easy hour or two until I processed it, you know. It took most of the day to process it. Fucking gardeners. See, these are the people you can't go and fucking yell at the gardeners, though, right? They're gardeners. They're outside working on your plants. You know, with their tools. They're not the people to yell at. The landlord's the people to yell at. I've never had any conflict with him, though. I have reason to be mad at him a couple of things. One happened like 10 years ago. I'm really still mad about it. He cut down my orange tree. Fucker. Anyway. Yeah, so I would have just been like, well, where's your appeal policy? She would have given me one or not. It wouldn't have even mattered. Once you got the appeals policy in hand, you've got all the ammunition you need. You go. It says here this decision is made by a committee. Who's on this committee? Uh huh. And so, the arbitration process or the appeals process is also done with committee. No, it's not. There is a final decision maker or not. I see. So, are you? If you're, so you're saying that there's no culpability, that all accountability is diffused out amongst the group. Okay. And I'm taking notes the whole time, right? You got to be taking notes because then that scares them. If you're taking notes, it scares them because you're writing it down for some reason. What's he writing it down for? I learned that from my ex-evil boss. And we go, okay. Now, what is the framework by which you implement this policy? Is your desired goal maximize educational outcomes, or minimize impact to the district, or... I see. And you start asking questions like that, writing down all the answers, and answering, every time they answer, you go, I see. Okay, cool, interesting. I see. Okay. And then you write down names. And can I get the name of this person and that person? Now, in that person's job duties, are they responsible for student assessment? They are. That's included in their job duties? Interesting. Who knows what the fuck I'm going with this shit? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'll figure out where I'm going with it. If I keep asking questions and prodding, they'll give me an angle. I'll get some sort of federal law involved, Like, well, this appeals process doesn't account for individual disabilities. Have you considered whether it's IDEA compliant? Because I'm concerned that if the entire appeals process is invalidated by being in direct contradiction of federal law, then we're going to have to come to some sort of new manner of adjudicating these things. Now, I'm hopeful that somebody around here is ready to address this extremely serious issue in a serious fashion. Alright? Now look, I am not trying to be difficult. The problem here is we have an educational outcome that needs to accomplish for a student who desperately needs to be in this district, who's going to gain incredible educational benefits from doing so. You've got a appeals process that appears to be in violation of federal law. You're engaged in a systematic discrimination against individuals who blah, 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 whatever I come up with. And I'm giving you here a very simple way to resolve this problem, right? I will admit that while I'm a little outraged by this whole thing, I'm easy enough to make go away. The problem here is this bullshit is falling on my kid. So what are you going to do about it? They say, fuck this guy, I don't want to deal with him. They don't want to deal with you, right? They do not want to deal with that guy. That guy is scary. He's just taking a whole bunch of notes, been really calm, asking you a bunch of questions, right? And then at the end, all of a sudden, instead of a interested party who's asking questions and writing down information, he turns into superintendent of schools, reading you the riot act in front of his desk, taking all the moral high ground, behaving as though you've done something terribly wrong. And the only way you're going to successfully get out of this, I've identified the problem, but don't worry, I'm your solution too. I'll get you out of this fucking thing. Just make me go away. It's a good technique. It works. But you gotta do it right. You gotta read the person. You gotta spend a long time in that questioning process. Do not let them rush you. Madam, I'm here on an issue of justice. I'm here on an issue important to a child? Can you please let me ask my questions at least? Don't let them rush you. Remember, if they're insistent on trying to get that thing done, then position it, frame it immediately as evidence of bad faith. I came here in good faith hoping that I could deal with a rational, reasonable individual who was willing to adjudicate this on the issues. You're attempting to cut me short. You're attempting to not even afford the issue enough time to consider it rationally and reasonably and objectively. This plays into the ongoing pattern of what I would consider an unacceptable level of discriminatory behavior on the part of the district. And I don't want to make trouble here, but you are being difficult, not me. Now, will you give me enough time to conclude my thoughts and to get all the information I need, or not? Are you choosing to send me away from this public institution without meeting my basic requests as a member of the citizenry entitled to this information? Is that what you are doing, madam? The key thing is when you are trying to deal with pushback, you're trying to push through barriers, right? You have to go on the attack. You have to claim the moral high ground. Sometimes that may mean, if things are complicated, if it's a complicated kind of scenario, and you've done some things that maybe aren't the best things to have done, you're probably going to have to publicly shame yourself for those things. But in doing so, you seize the moral high ground forever after that. Once you show it, look, this is just like at the end of 8 Mile, the Eminem movie, when he's doing that last rap battle, and he spikes it. He spikes the opponent. He spikes every fucking thing the opponent possibly could say and argue. He spikes it all. He calls it out on himself, and then says, "Now what the fuck you gonna say about me?" Right? You gotta have that basic approach when dealing with conflict. If you're gonna take this approach, because otherwise you're too vulnerable. You have to be morally righteous, morally upright in your dealings with people if you want to use the indignation and the moral high ground card. Because you don't have to be right about necessarily them being immoral. Personally, they're not. It's institutionally occurring. It doesn't matter, though, because the outcome's the right thing and the means are adequate. They're not. The means are adequately moral to justify the usage of them. So, yeah, so you do have to make sure that you're standing on solid ground. You don't have to make sure that your framing of it as an immoral action on their part is accurate, because they're not going to, probably almost 99.99% of the time, they're not going to be able to parse that distinction. They're not going to be able to go, actually, the issue of moral culpability, being that I am an administrator in a large institution like this, the issue of moral culpability is complicated. I am tasked with doing certain jobs. I am duty bound to do those, contractually bound to do those. So it's difficult to say necessarily whether or not fulfilling those contractual bonds is immoral or not in this circumstance. Not like I'm killing people anyway. So even if you're right about producing an immoral outcome, you're wrong about attributing that moral culpability to me. But no, you're not gonna. I've never encountered that. I've never run into anybody who I was like, whoa, okay, hold on. You may got a real fight on my hands. Oh, okay, well that's different then. If somebody gave me that response, I'd be like, all right, dude, then let's cut the shit then. Look, you're too good. I'm not gonna be able to Jedi you, so I'm not gonna be able to bully you. I'm not gonna be able to trick you. So, can you just hook me up? Look, you and I we're the same, so hook me up, yeah? He'd probably be like, yeah, alright, fine. I'll buy you a coffee or something. You know, it's like you got to be adaptable too. You got to be able to switch gears in a moment. You got to be able to change emotions in a moment. From super nice and polite, and hi, thank you so much for seeing me. You know, I'm sorry to be a trouble and be a pill. I know I've been here a couple times. I'm trying to get this thing off my plate, and I know that we both want what's best for everybody. So I appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to me. It's really I do. Do you understand at all why you are making this decision? Do you have any justification for it at all? Is it just absolutely arbitrary whim? You gotta be able to shift gears, like, boom, you know? And then, well, I'm just really glad we got this thing resolved. Thank you so much. I'm sorry if I yelled. I know I get a little bit assholey sometimes. Sorry. I didn't mean to, like that, right? And I'm not faking it. I'm not fucking faking it. It's just how it happens. I don't plan it either. I just walk in there and that's what happens. I don't know what to tell you. It didn't happen in this particular instance, but it's happened in other circumstances similarly. You know, you gotta play it by ear ultimately, but that's one way to get through, especially big bureaucratic institutions. Fuck these fucking gardeners. I'm not gonna yell at the gardeners, but yeah.